Introducing the all-new Corolla. In 1989, Congressman Ben Blas was offered a deal for war reparations, but Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz says a resolution from Guam threw everything off. Cruz says that Congressman Robert Underwood introduced a war reparations bill every year, but it wasn't until the end of his 5 terms that he was offered a compromise. Congress offered to establish a Guam War Claims Review Commission. Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo was then able to establish that commission. It's a commission that Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz was a member of.
We as a commission came out with a report that said that the United States had a moral obligation to pay war reparations. Unfortunately, it's gotten caught up in that whole issue of whether or not it should include descendants as opposed to just being limited to survivors.
In 2009, Congresswoman Berdallo was offered a compromise to only pay out the survivors and not their descendants, but the Congresswoman declined that offer.
I don't believe that Congress is going to ever offer again another compromise. And as it's going to turn out pretty soon, there won't be any survivors to receive, and there is no legal obligation really to pay anything to descendants.
The Vice Speaker believes that Guam has missed its window of opportunity to get war reparations.
I think that window closed in 2009, unfortunately, because I really don't, especially the new members of Congress. I mean, back then, at least there were a few members of Congress who actually were descendants, had survived World War II themselves. But this new crop in Congress, many of them think of that as ancient history and have no idea what the World War II was about.
Cruz believes that the only way Guam will ever get war reparations is if everyone accepts war reparations for survivors only.
Many of us here in the legislature have been told to stop putting it in resolutions, asking or tying it to the buildup, because those in favor of the buildup keep insisting that this is not a quid pro quo arrangement with it shouldn't, and we keep insisting, those of us that want to put the two together, that will support it if you recognize that you have an obligation to us. But if you don't recognize that you have an obligation to us, then why should we take on another obligation?